A very good morning, viewers. It's 6 a.m. and you're watching Republic TV. I'm Deepak Suresh Kumar. This is Quick Morning, your one-stop destination for all the top stories from the length and breadth of the nation as well as from across the world. So let's get started. Mauritius confers highest award to PM Modi as he is on a two-day state visit to this particular nation. The Prime Minister was bestowed with the highest honor of Mauritius, the Grand Commander of Order of the Star and Key of the Indian Ocean. PM Modi is the first Indian to receive the honor. PM Modi is on a two-day state visit to the Indian Ocean country on the invitation of Mauritian Prime Minister Navinchandra Ramgoolam. PM Modi has called Mauritius Mini India. He said Mauritius is a garden of various cultures. The Prime Minister was addressing an Indian diaspora gathering in the Mauritian capital Port Louis, which was attended by Mauritian Prime Minister Navinchandra Ramgoolam.
बड़ा ये दुनिया के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है। ये एक प्रकार से अलग अलग कल्चर्स का खूबसूरत बगीचा है। बोली खान पान के हिसाब से देखे तो मॉरिशस में मिनी हिंदुस्तान बसता है।
Lok Sabha proceedings were adjourned briefly on Tuesday as Congress members protested against a remark by BJP MP Sambit Patra on Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi. MP Sambit Patra took a dig at LOP Rahul Gandhi in his speech in Lok Sabha. Patra referred to Congress leader's remark on cricketer Rohit Sharma's fitness and compared the cricket captain with Rahul Gandhi. As Congress members protested, Sandhya Rai, who was in the chair, said the remarks would be removed, but Congress members continued their protest and blocked the proceedings.
पार्टी कहती है कि रोहित शर्मा अनफिट है। रोहित शर्मा अनफिट नहीं है, राहुल गांधी अनफिट है। और मैं बता दूं, नरेंद्र मोदी जी के कप्तानी में ही आप देखिएगा भारत विश्व का चैंपियनशिप ट्रॉफी जीतेगी। भारत माता की जय, जय जगन्नाथ।
The government introduced the Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025 in the Lok Sabha yesterday to consolidate existing immigration laws and introduce provisions to deny entry to foreigners deemed a threat to national security. The opposition led by the Congress opposed the bill, calling for its withdrawal or referral to a joint parliamentary committee. Trinamool Congress opposed the bill, claiming that the law will restrict the inflow of talents in India in the field of academics and medical science.
I beg to oppose the Immigration and Foreigners Bill 2025. I object to the new laws, especially with regard to obligation of universities as well as hospital, nursing home or any other medical institutes admitting any foreigner. This will restrict inflow of talent and know-how in the country in the fields of academic and medical science.
Mumbai Sessions Court granted anticipatory bail to SP MLA Abu Azmi in connection with a case filed against him over his remarks on Aurangzeb. Azmi is required to furnish a solvent surety bond of 20,000 rupees as part of the bail conditions. Azmi's controversial statement about Aurangzeb in the Maharashtra legislature triggered huge protests, following which Mumbai police registered a case against him. Amid the ongoing row over the Waqf bill, Congress leader Rashid Alvi has stirred controversy by suggesting that Muslims should block roads and highways for 2 years across India, following the footsteps of the farmers. Alvi's remarks came as a response to the proposed Waqf Amendment Bill. He emphasized that protesting is a fundamental right and Muslims should exercise this right by shutting down roads and holding sit-ins, similar to the tactics employed by farmers during their 2-year-long protest in Delhi. A scuffle broke out between the ruling BJP and opposition Congress members during question hour at the Odisha Assembly yesterday. Congress MLAs were protesting over increasing crimes against women. Odisha Assembly Speaker Surama Padia adjourned the House multiple times, but disruptions continue to persist. Later, she suspended Congress MLA Tara Prasad Bahinipati from the House for 7 days for unparliamentary behavior. Now, viewers, it's time for us to take a quick look at the top stories from the world of business. Ather Energy prepares for the initial public offering. Indian electric two-wheeler maker Ather Energy is preparing for its IPO at an estimated valuation of approximately $1.2 billion by mid-April. The offering will include a fresh issuance of shares worth 3,100 crore rupees and an offer for sale of 2.2 crore shares by company founders Tarun Mehta and Swapnil Jain, along with other existing investors. Initially aiming for a valuation of around $2 billion, Ather Energy has now revised its valuations. The IPO will consist of both primary as well as secondary share offerings. SEBI had even already granted approval for the IPO late last year. Minister of State for Commerce and Industry Jitin Prasada highlighted in the Lok Sabha that India's applied tariffs generally remain below the WTO bound limits. The minister said India is a member of the WTO and is bound to its maximum tariff and that can be applied to a given commodity line. He said the applied tariffs are generally below the bound tariff for a given commodity line. And this particular assertion comes after US President Donald Trump has vowed to slap reciprocal tariffs on countries beginning April 2nd, raising import fees to match the tariffs imposed by trading partners on American goods. President Trump has often criticized India's import taxes, particularly on vehicles, which he believes surpasses 100%. Government has officially announced the establishment of the Makhana Board, which is constituted to enhance production, processing, value addition and marketing of fox nuts. The initiative comes with a substantial 100 crore rupees budgetary allocation for the upcoming fiscal year, as mentioned in the Lok Sabha in response to an unstarred question. The announcement was made by Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Ramnath Thakur, who highlighted that the board would provide handholding and also training support to Makhana farmers for the strengthening this particular sector. Bihar has emerged as one of the leading states in Makhana cultivation, with the Mithila region being a major production hub. US stocks plummeted on Monday, extending their losing streak as concerns over potential recession and escalating trade tensions weighed on investors. The S&P 500 fell 2.7%, marking its third consecutive week of losses, while the Nasdaq Composite tumbled 4%, hitting its lowest level in 6 months. According to a report, US President Donald Trump's tariffs have wiped out $4 trillion from the S&P's 500 peak last month, a stark reversal from the optimism that previously fueled Wall Street's rally. Investor sentiment took a hit after President Trump increased tariffs on Chinese goods from 10% to 20%, prompting China to retaliate with a 15% tariff on American agricultural imports. Telecom giant Airtel has signed a deal with Elon Musk's SpaceX to provide high-speed internet service to Indian customers. According to the press release, this is the first agreement to be signed in India, which is subject to SpaceX receiving its own authorizations to sell Starlink in India. Airtel and SpaceX will explore the possibility of offering Starlink equipment in Airtel's retail stores, as well as providing Starlink services to business customers. They will also look into opportunities to connect communities, schools, health centers and more, including in the most remotest areas in India. Now it's time for us to get you a quick wrap of what's happening around the world in this segment of International Stories. The Trump administration lifted its suspension of military aid and intelligence sharing for Ukraine. This was decided after Ukraine said it is ready to a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Russia, pending Moscow's agreement. The announcements emerged as senior officials from Ukraine and the United States opened talks in Saudi Arabia, focusing on ending Moscow's 3-year war against Kyiv. The Trump administration, however, imposed suspended military assistance to Kyiv a week ago to push Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to enter talks to end the war with invading Russian forces.
Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation.
US President Donald Trump has said Canada can avoid higher taxes if they join the US and become its 51st state. He said it in a post on social media on Tuesday. President Trump has announced that he will further raise tariffs on steel and aluminium coming into the US from neighbors like Canada. This means it will be more expensive for Canadian companies to do business with US. The Premier of the Canadian province of Ontario said he was suspending plans to impose a 25% surcharge on electricity exports to the United States. He also told earlier that US networks that he was ready to cut off all electricity exports unless US President Donald Trump dropped his threat to impose tariffs on Canadian imports. The Premier said he would fly to Washington this week for talks with the Trump administration. Ontario exports power to 1.5 million homes in New York State, Minnesota, and Michigan. US had already warned Canada not to slap the surcharge or face what it called grave consequences.
Secretary Lutnick has sent out an olive branch to us to come down and immediately meet with him, meet with the whole trade administration, and discuss the future. Rather than waiting till April the 2nd, threats going back and forth, tit for tat, I've agreed to suspend temporarily, and we always have that tool in our toolkit, until we sit down over the next day or two.
The designated expert of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights on the situation in Haiti, William O'Neill, told on Tuesday that the situation in Haiti is dire. He urged national and international actors to act in compliance with human rights laws. The country, and in particular its capital, Port-au-Prince, face constant gang violence. The UN estimates that gangs already control 85% of the capital. A contingent of around 800 Kenyan police is also leading a UN-backed mission that includes soldiers and police from various countries such as Jamaica, Guatemala, and El Salvador, who are working alongside Haiti's national police. According to the UN report, more than 5,600 people were reportedly killed in Haiti last year, with gang violence displacing more than 1 million Haitians in recent years.
Despite the efforts of the Haitian National Police and the multinational security support mission, the risk of the capital falling under gang control is palpable. These violent criminal groups continue to extend and consolidate their hold even beyond the capital. They kill, rape, terrorize, set fire to homes, orphanages, schools, hospitals, places of worship.
Top European Union envoy Kaja Kallas said a deal with Russia to end the ongoing conflict in Ukraine will require strong security guarantees. Kallas was addressing reporters after a briefing members earlier of the UN Security Council. This comes amid the talks between Ukraine and US in Saudi port city of Jeddah over the possible end of Ukraine's war with Russia, where Kyiv has agreed for a ceasefire.
Must be backed by strong security guarantees. Russia's track record of broken treaties leaves no room for trust. In response to Russia's threat, EU leaders have pledged to massively increase military spending, not to provoke a conflict with Russia, but to prevent it.
In his first trip to the once volatile Western Balkans, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte on Tuesday underlined the alliance's steadfast commitment to its security. He also urged both Kosovo and Serbia of flexibility in their normalization talks. Mark Rutte came to Kosovo after his first stop in Bosnia a day earlier, where he reassured the authorities of the military alliance's unwavering support for its territorial integrity. Kosovo unilaterally declared independence from Serbia in 2008, a decade since the end of the 1998 and 1999 war between Serbian government forces and ethnic Albanian separatists that pushed Serbian forces out following a 78-day NATO air campaign.
Here I would side with President Trump. First of all, I want to really note the fact that thanks to him there has now been a breakthrough when it comes to Ukraine in terms of starting talks with both the Russians and the Ukrainians. That is important. It's good that the French and the Brits have taken initiative that when a peace deal or a ceasefire would happen in Ukraine, that there will be this issue of security guarantee.
Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said late Tuesday that former President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested at Manila International Airport on Interpol's request. President Marcos also said that Duterte had left Manila on a plane and will be turned over to the International Criminal Court in Hague. Former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested after arriving in Manila with his family from Hong Kong on Tuesday morning on a warrant from the International Criminal Court. The global court had ordered his arrest after accusing him of crimes against humanity over a deadly anti-drug crackdown that he oversaw while he was in office.
It's a request to the Philippine government from Interpol to enforce the arrest warrant. And of course, we comply with our commitments to Interpol. We did not do this because it was derived from or it came from ICC. We did this because Interpol asked us to do it. And we have commitments to them, and we lived up to those commitments.
Well, with that, viewers, it's time for us to slip into a very, very short break, but we will be right back with the top stories from the world of sports and entertainment. Stay tuned.
जी आईसीसी चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी हिंदुस्तान ने जीत ली है और एक अजीब सी चीज मैंने देखी है कि पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट बोर्ड का कोई नुमाइंदा यहाँ खड़ा नहीं था। पाकिस्तानी चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी होस्ट कर रहा था और पाकिस्तान का कोई भी नुमाइंदा यहाँ पे नहीं खड़ा था। ये बात मेरी
Welcome back, viewers. It's time for us to take a quick look at stories from the action-packed world of sports. So sit back and enjoy the show. Indian table tennis legend Sharad Kamal, who recently announced his retirement, thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi after he congratulated the sportsperson on a glorious career while conveying his heartfelt wishes for the next phase of his life. Sharad will hang up his racket and the iconic bandana later this month, having stayed at the top of his game for more than 22 years and resisting the temptation of lasting another Olympic cycle at the ripe old age of 42. India's Lakshya Sen fought his way back to reach the second round of the All England Championships, while compatriot HS Pranoy was eliminated in the opening round of the men's singles competition. Lakshya, ranked 15th in the world, came from behind to defeat Chinese Taipei's world number 37 Su Li Yang with 13-21, 21-17, 21-15 win in the opening round of the Super 1000 event. Test cricket's 150th anniversary will be marked in grand style as Australia and England prepare for a historic showdown under lights at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, scheduled to take place from March 11 to March 15th. In 2027, the 150th anniversary test will be a significant day-night spectacle. This landmark match will be the first time a men's test is played under lights at the MCG following the women's Ashes test earlier this year at the same venue. Former Indian cricketer Mohammad Kaif took centre stage and he lauded Shreyas Iyer for his performances. The Indian team was exceptional throughout the Champions Trophy 2025. Led by Rohit Sharma, the Men in Blue went unbeaten throughout their campaign and even defeated New Zealand in the Summit Clash. Throughout the course of the tournament, there were several players who stood out, and one of the stars looked to be an exceptional touch. One of the stars who performed brilliantly was star batter Shreyas Iyer. In the 5 innings that he played, Iyer amassed 243 runs at an average of 48.6 runs per innings. He finished as the second highest run getter of the competition and did not win any Player of the Match awards as well. Pakistan Cricket Board officials were left stunned after none of their members were invited during the Champions Trophy final presentation ceremony. Being the host nation, PCB expected an invitation, but instead only 4 members were present on the dais. International Cricket Council Chair Jai Shah was part of the proceedings along with BCCI President Roger Binney, Secretary Dewajit Saikia, along with New Zealand Cricket's CEO Roger Tuos. PCB has now filed a complaint seeking explanations regarding the same. ICC, on the other hand, will not be responding to Pakistan's queries. After missing out on the Ranji Trophy semi-final against Tamil Nadu in 2024, Shreyas Iyer was axed from BCCI's central contract. He had a terrific season with the bat in ODI cricket, but regardless, the board decided to punish the cricketer for opting out of domestic cricket. Iyer eventually returned to the final against Vidarbha and helped Mumbai to clinch the title. Soon after that, Iyer led Kolkata Knight Riders to their third title in the IPL. He will now join the Punjab Kings camp and lead the team in the 2025 edition of the IPL. Ahead of that, the Mumbai-born noted that despite winning the IPL trophy as captain for KKR in 2024, he felt underappreciated. However, he believed that self-integrity was more important, and for the same reason, the cricketer didn't speak out on the matter. Rishabh Pant has opined that playing for India should be a priority of the cricketers. Pant was part of India's 15-member squad for the Champions Trophy, but KL Rahul was preferred ahead of him. Despite the frustration of warming the bench, the Haridwar-born player noted that playing for the nation is the main objective. He mentioned that many cricketers are prioritizing IPL in the recent times and miss domestic cricket for the same, but Pant stated that even though it's a great platform, one should aim to play for India after the Champions Trophy. Pant will soon join Lucknow Super Giants camp for the upcoming edition of the IPL. And finally, viewers, it's time for us to get you the top stories from the world of entertainment. Actor Juliette Lewis thinks renaissance is happening in independent films now. She was talking about her upcoming movie opus scheduled to be released this month. The film is about a young writer who travels to the remote compound of a legendary pop star who mysteriously disappeared 30 years ago. Surrounded by a cult of sycophants and intoxicated journalists, she soon finds herself in the middle of his twisted plan.
Happening for independent films now, and even though the industry is shape-shifting and it's scary because nothing is what it once was and all these things, but that's how it always is. But I do feel like the freshest ideas win nowadays.
Actor Jack Quaid is using his latest role in Novocaine to spread awareness and raise funds for people with rare diseases. Quaid stars in Novocaine, the Paramount Pictures action comedy about a man who doesn't feel pain. The actor attended the Los Angeles premiere of the film. He said he trained extensively for the role, which was challenging because he had to perform stunts in a way that was true to his character.
I mean, I'm playing a person with a rare disorder in this movie. I thought the best thing that, Paramount, first of all, matched up to $40K in donations, and I'm also matching up to $5K. But I thought the best thing that I could do in that situation, the least I could do, was try to help those actually living with rare disorders. And Paramount partnered with Nord. They did this amazing thing called Running for Rare, and it was they did a little 5K in Austin, Texas.
Directors Anthony Russo and Joe Russo claim they are not demonizing technology in their upcoming movie, The Electric State. They say it talks about healthy relationship between man and technology. Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown work together to bridge harmony between robots and humans in The Electric State movie. It is an American science fiction adventure comedy film. The Netflix film premieres March 14th and follows an orphan teenager named Michelle, who joins a drifter named Keats and his robot to search for her younger brother.
The movie has any message, it's not trying to demonize technology, it's saying you need to have a healthy relationship with it and you need to use it in balance, you know? And I think there's an internal metric that tells you, are you being kind and staying connected on a human level to other people? And we try to use that metric when we're working. And technology can do all kinds of amazing things. It can cure diseases. It can connect people from around the world in ways that couldn't be connected before.
On the death anniversary of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj. On Tuesday, actor Vicky Kaushal remembered the iconic Maratha warrior and said that some roles stay forever, and playing Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj in Chava has been one of them. For the actor, Shambhuraje Balidan Divas is observed in honor of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, the son of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Vicky plays the role of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj in the film Chava, which has made a significant impact on the box office. Chava, directed by Lakshman Utekar, is a historical drama based on the life of Sambhaji Maharaj, the second ruler of the Maratha Empire. Viewers, that's all we could pack for you in this edition of Quick Morning. But stay tuned to Republic TV as we get you all the live and latest on the other side.